Namaste, this is Das, and welcome to the Why Hold On series. In the previous dialogue, we looked at how we use a mechanism to shortlist a set of possibilities from this entire universe of infinite possibilities. How some possibilities already make us anxious, some we get worried about, and we narrow down to the ones that we like. So that's one layer. Now, today, we would like to have a dialogue one layer deeper, which is one of the most favorite topics with most people, which is desires. Now, I've come across a lot of people, and this is super interesting to hear everyone's views on this particular topic. Now, desires are like hunger, like hiccups. They just appear naturally to us. From time to time, you will be drawn to this desire, to that desire. So desires itself are not a problem. They are absolutely phenomenal way to interact with this universe. They are beautiful. You can look at a car, you feel you desire that car. Now you think, okay, I would like to work harder to buy that car. Very simple example. So desires are not the problem at all. They are beautiful. And different people will have different desires, or same person can have different desires throughout their life. The desires you had as a 10-year-old will not exist when you're a 20-year-old. And the desire that you have at the same age are not at all comparable to someone else at the same age or in the same group of friends you have. So desires are very unique and very specific to who you are, where you get drawn into. You have an internal algorithm where you're getting drawn into this desire, that desire, because there is something that you would like to experience. Brilliant. However, there is two parts attached to the desires, and they are when we are getting fixated on a desire. That's the first part. So let's look at the first part a little bit. That Take a very simple example. People can desire food, and someone says, no, I just want to have pizza, especially any age group. Let's not pinpoint. Someone says, I just want to have pizza. And now their exploratory brain is switched off and they are fixated on that desire that I just want to have pizza. Pizzas are great, by the way. I enjoy them time to time. So when someone is fixated on that desire, they lose that ability to explore the world. They narrow down the list of infinite possibilities so hard. It's like so hardwired to one particular objective. Now, it can give you great results if your intent is to make a project successful, to make money, or to make a business successful, or even non-monetary project successful. You want to build something artistic. You desire it. Of course, it is brilliant and you can do it. And that's no problem whatsoever at all. The challenge becomes when you're fixated and everything else but that desire is going to ruin your life experience. That's the first step of the problem. So fixation on a particular desire, nothing else, where you're locking down your entire focal point, your nervous system on that desire, but also you're connecting your joy, your quality of life to that desire, as if life has no meaning outside that. That's the first one. The second one is, in a professional world, it's okay to, you can go buy a car or you can go buy a house and you can expect people to deliver as per your desire. You don't care about their feelings because you're doing a transaction. You're paying them for their services, and you know that they are going to build a particular fabric or a car or a house according to you. And you can agree on the price and services and easy. However, but most of our life is not interested in that. And I'll tell you why. If you notice back in your life, how many hours of your life you have spent in a car dealership just talking about the kind of car you want to buy. You don't care. You will investigate for a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. If depending on the person you are and the kind of taste you have and the kind of money you have and how focused you are, and you will end up shortlisting it, finalizing it, test driving it, organizing it. Yeah, great, done. But you don't spend 98 or 99% of your life in a car dealership. No, you spend less than 1% in your entire life. So your desire, it's not bothering your lifestyle. Same about building a house or building a fabric. Yes, you go investigate, but you get off the horse pretty fast. Whereas majority of your life, I'll say around 99%, is more involved in personal desires, which are either creating meaningful relationships or having meaningful experiences where you are very much invested emotionally. And that's where a next level of depth reveals. Why? Because the first part is you're fixated on a dream or a desire. Second is, let's say there is other people involved who you are personally, emotionally invested in. It could be a partner, a child, or someone you are invested in. It could be a business partner. So the interesting part you will observe is that, let's say someone is getting married. You would like this other person to love you voluntarily. Because if you have to force that person to love you, it deletes the original desire that I need to be loved. See, it's a paradox. You want them to love you, but you also want them to love you voluntarily. Because if they don't do it voluntarily, doesn't matter how many people are involved to convince that person, diffuses the actual dream. The dream was for you to be feeling loved. So as you are getting fixated on a desire, let's say you are desiring to get married, to be in a relationship with this person. Now you want this person to be part of your dream of getting married. You want this person to love you voluntarily. You want this person to love you voluntarily forever. You want this person to love you voluntarily no matter what. And you also want this person to love you no matter how many times you change through your lives. So the amount of conditions that you have involved by just this one desire, you have made it such a complex dream, and then now you're fixated on this desire. Please tell me who will deliver that? I cannot comprehend it. Yes, you can, but the amount of effort you will put in there, it is no longer going to be pleasurable for either of the parties eventually, and brilliant for those that works. But I'm talking about the people who are fixated on the desire, and now they're going to a relationship counselor, they're going to spiritual people, religious people to sort some stuff out. Lawyers, non-lawyers, therapists, psychologists, because now they're fixated on this desire. They cannot think outside the box. They cannot adapt to these infinite possibilities. And some of them can bring beautiful life experiences to them, but they don't care because the ability is locked in. And another part is that, excuse me, that a person's capacities, they start limiting themselves. Why? Because they're only able to operate within that set of desires. They don't ever challenge themselves to go outside those desires. They don't challenge their abilities. They don't challenge their skills. They don't, their world is quite defined in a boundary. It's like they've created a wall. And the more stronger the wall is, the harder it is for them to break out. And they start living a compressed life. In their own world, they are living a very free life because they can get anything they desire. And that formula works as long as your first desire doesn't collapses. And when it does, most people I've come across, they will say, I'm shocked. I don't know how this can happen to me. I can't handle life. I don't believe this happened to me. Why? Because that particular possibility was so far removed in the rearview mirror, like when you're driving the car. It is so far removed that you don't believe it belongs to your menu item. You don't believe it's yours. You struggle to embrace it as one of the universe's gift to you because it is a little uncomfortable to take more responsibility, a little uncomfortable to create your own desire and dream. Or are you so habitual with that desire? Are you so habitual of living that life in that job, with that person, with that business partner, or getting that business to success, or how people like you, or how people don't like you, or what's people's perception of you? Is that what it is? So, the fixation and the desire of people to voluntarily support your project without you asking them exactly how is one of the most unique challenges that people create. It's like, imagine a movie director would like to make a movie and would like all the actors to play a role in his or her movie, but doesn't want to give them a specific script, wants them to act voluntarily. Can you see any movie ever coming to cinemas? Because that movie will be a total disaster. Everyone is behaving their way. It might be very beautiful to watch. It may not come across as a definitive action movie or definitive adventure movie or definitive comedy, and it might be a brilliant masterpiece. But then you won't be able to categorize, and people won't be able to know in advance what kind of movie they're watching. But in real life, we are creating those kind of movies where we want a particular movie to be launched, and we want all the actors in a personal one where we are spending 98, 99% of our time and resources. We want those people to voluntarily act in our movie with joy, with passion. And once they have agreed, they can't back off either. Because if you have accepted the possibility that anyone can agree to that dream today and can walk away from that dream in the future, it's fine, it's no problem. But you lock them in. The moment someone says, you lock them in. And we only hear what we want to hear. We only show what we want to show to make sure our dream is a success. We are not super honest. We are all masking ourselves to make sure we get our dream. We are fixated. We want others to participate in our dream. I worked with so many people where they're fixated on doing this, doing that in a particular way. And then you ask them more thoroughly, but why do you want to do it this way? Ah, this is who I am. That's what I want. So they are so fixated in that desire that it's almost impossible to unlock them out of that state. And that's fine. It is no problem. But then the quality of life, the opportunity, this gift of life that we all have been given, it starts deteriorating because of that fixation, because of that fixation on that desire. So I leave you all today with this one dialogue and one question that one, why are you fixated on a particular desire? And two, also observe, why hold on to this idea that people should voluntarily participate in a desire that you want? So think about it until our next dialogue. This is Das signing out. Have a great day and have a great week ahead. Bye bye.